Nitty Litter here, aka Jen, and I'm here to share with you my very limited collection of Malibu Barbie dolls. Excuse me, I'm getting my notebook. Um, as you can see, I have three of them. The oldest one that I have is this one in the teal bathing suit, which is actually Sun Loving Malibu's suit. This is not Sun Loving Malibu, which I figured out by looking to see if she had any tan lines, because Sun Loving Malibu had tan lines, which was a very cool gimmick. I remember as a kid being very impressed by these dolls with tan lines. I did not have Malibu Barbies as a kid. I didn't really start collecting dolls until the Superstar era. So it was really a lot of fun to find these dolls and pick them up, because I had this strong childhood association with these dolls, but had never actually had them before. So it's been really fun to add them to my collection. But Malibu, Sun Loving Malibu is not a doll, unfortunately, I have in my collection. At least I don't think so. So I will be on the lookout for her. Actually, yeah, no, I know I don't have her because I don't have any dolls with tan lines. But anyway, this particular doll is actually Sunset Malibu, who came out in 1971. And she is actually a older suntan Malibu. There were actually, I don't know, like maybe a 5-year run of the Malibu Sunset dolls. And they were made in different places and different methodologies. But these earlier ones, like the one in the teal suit here, she actually has Japan. Her right foot says Japan. So that's how you know if you have one of the earlier ones. Whereas this one, which is also, I believe, a sunset one, does not have that. So she's probably one of the later ones, maybe 74 or 75. I was going to give you guys a little background as to her suit. Is a little revealing here. Give you guys a little background as to how I picked up these dolls. I picked up Sun Loving Malibu as part of a big lot, and that was for auction on Goodwill. And it had a lot of 80s dolls that I was really, really keen to add to my collection. So I was really thrilled to win that lot. The dolls are, not in the greatest condition in some cases. They do have all their clothes and their shoes, and they were obviously owned by a collector, so there's definitely some bonuses there. But unfortunately, the collector was also really into using mothballs and smoking. So I am in the process of taking all of these dolls and putting them in kitty litter, which can really help with getting the smell out, as strange as that sounds. So that's what I've been doing to rid them of that smell. Whereas this other Malibu Barbie, the other sunset one, was part of a doll lot, a large doll lot, and she was kind of just hiding amongst a bunch of dolls from the 2000s. So a lot of Millies, maybe a few dolls from the 90s. And I just happened to notice her, and I believe she was, it was a buy it now option. So I ended up buying the lot, and if I break it all down, I think I probably ended up paying maybe a couple bucks for her. So I was thrilled with that because a lot of times, in my opinion anyway, you kind of end up overpaying for these dolls online. I guess it's the nostalgia factor and just, they're interesting dolls. I mean, I know that there's some folks that don't like the face mold, and I get that. There's people who don't like Superstar. People have very, very strong feelings about this. But having grown up in the 70s as well as the 80s, I really like this mold. And looking at these dolls takes me right back to 1975 when I was a little kid. So it's very pleasant to have them back in my life. But this one that I got as part of a big doll lot, she did not have her original bathing suit. She was actually in a very 70s style dress that is quite cute. And at some point, I will probably display her in that dress. It is like a prairie style dress, which ironically, that kind of look seems to be coming back now. And like sort of a centennial prairie sort of vibe, if that makes sense. But so I decided, you know what, I'm gonna make her a little swimming suit, and it turned out to be a little more risque than I planned on. But I'm going with it. During that era, I was thinking back. I remember my mother, who was a young mom, wearing a bikini that was rather risque, and that wasn't atypical. It was that was the era, and I remember my mother sitting at the pool with her friends, smoking and reading her book while we were all swimming. And it was, yeah, it was a very, very different time, and that time included some very revealing swimsuits. So I'm just gonna go with it. But so yeah, I have these two girls, and then in addition to that, I'm gonna turn off my ring light here. I have a reproduction of Malibu Barbie from 2008. And I have been hunting this particular doll down for a while now, and I was thrilled when somebody locally had her, but it turned out it was going to be a really, really long drive for me to pick her up. And after weighing a lot of factors, basically figured out, you know what, but by the time everything's said and done, it's going to be not any more economical to get her from Goodwill. So they had one located at a Goodwill in California. So I said, I'm going to go for it. And I won the auction. And a funny story about that, I received an email from Goodwill right before they were going to send it. And I was a little surprised and like a little concerned because typically I haven't had much communication with Goodwill about my purchases. And it was this long email where they were apologizing because they said that they had thought that the doll was from 1967 and that she turned out to be a reproduction and she was relatively new and that they had mislabeled her. And I just explained to them, I said, look, I knew she was a reproduction. To be honest with you, I didn't even really look that closely at the description, even though I probably should have. And no worries, but I just thought that was so cute that they were so concerned about not misrepresenting what they were selling to me. It was refreshing actually, because as someone excuse me, as someone who is new to buying Barbies, I've quickly learned that there are all kinds of sellers out there, and we'll just leave it at that. So the fact that they were so conscientious was refreshing. And the other thing I learned upon getting this doll is that in a previous lot, had thrown away Malibu Barbie's towel because I thought it was just a scrap of fabric. So, anyway, talk about a rookie mistake. But I know now, in case I ever run across another one, I'm deciding whether or not I want to open this box. I probably will, in part because I just, want to take a closer look at her, and I also want to dress somebody in that really cute yellow outfit. I remember people wearing that color yellow. I think it's called something like sun gold, or there was some way that people referred to it. Actually, my mother's bathing suit, if I remember correctly, was that color. It was a very, very popular color, and you saw it everywhere. I am going to be doing some more segments like this about some of my other beach dolls. I hope you enjoyed this. I have found that collecting some of these beach dolls has just been a lot of fun, that they're relatively easy to get a hold of, especially the ones from the 80s and the 90s. You can get them for what I think is a pretty decent price, sometimes as low as $20, new in box locally. I've seen them. The Malibu Barbies, maybe not so much. Just, I guess, because of the nostalgia factor. I've seen that, yeah, if a group of people get together and there's some of these for sale, the prices can escalate pretty quickly. So, um, I'm guessing that, yeah, this will probably be the extent of my Malibu Barbie collection. But I am very happy to have them. If you have any questions or comments, I'd love to hear them. And I will be doing more segments like this in the future.